Well, look who's here. Criminal justice reformer Alice Marie Johnson, a hero to many. Let's give you the backstory. Alice served 21 years in prison for a first-time drug offense. Originally sentenced to life, Alice was pardoned by former President Trump, now fighting the good fight, trying to help people. Alice, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
Good
Liz.
to see you. What a story. I mean, so many people look up to you. You truly are a hero. When you see this new D.C. debate on the U.S. crime wave harming women, the question's been, where is the Me Too movement? Where are the defund the police Democrat women who pushed for that? Where are Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, Rashida Tlaib, and the squad? You know what I mean? So that's what we're hearing from female law enforcement, from women victims of crime. What do you think? What's your take?
Well, Liz, as a woman, I do not want to defund the police. I think we need to fund the police and make sure that they're focused on the things that they need to be focused on, not just writing tickets trying to raise money, but we need to be able to make sure that they've got enough money to do their jobs. I've been working with Jerron Smith, a former Trump advisor, on a public safety coalition, and that is what we're doing, is we're working to have safe on crime, smart on crime solutions that will help people like me. I don't know any woman personally who wants to defund the police.
Yes, so minority women and minority communities getting hit hard, right? Because, by the way, this is both a red and blue state issue. It's an American issue. We've got double-digit increases in murder and assaults. I mean, a broad surge in gun violence. People are saying, well, it's happening in red states. It's because those cities, some would say, were run by Democrats. But it's the weak on crime policies that, women are talking about more and more.
Yes, it is something that is very concerning, not only to women, but as you say, to all Americans. And this is something that we must address in a broader way. I want to give you an example of a good friend of mine in Dallas, Anton Lucky. He was a former gang member. He went to prison, he did his time, he rehabilitated. He's come back to Dallas, and now he's working with the chief of police in Dallas to help solve solutions in that city. He even met with rival gang members and had them lay their weapons down. We really need to get back to the things like what President Trump led, the First Step Act. We need to get back to smart on crime solutions. We need more steps, not defunding the police. I truly believe that there is a path forward, but we have to start at the community level. We have to be able to get communities involved. This is a national issue, but it's affecting communities on the ground.
All across the country.
All across the country.
Alice, let's get your reaction to this. Watch this.
Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police.
Yes, I support the defund movement.
Talking about the reduction of our NYPD budget and defunding a $6 billion NYPD budget.
Not only do we need to defund, but we need to dismantle and start anew.
I think about what I could have done, and for me, I feel like I'm always alert, and there's nothing I could have done to prevent this. Every time someone's being let out on the street again and again, they're doing a disservice, and they're pretty much saying that these victims' traumas were in vain.
This man intentionally tried to kill us. There was casings in the hallway. The shot went through my door to the pillar to the kitchen. I was cooking food for my kids.
When I was attacked, he was already on 3 grants of felony probation. He had attacked 3 women, 2 of them with a golf club and a hammer, and he threatened to harm them. And I had asked the judge, I said, how many more women does this defendant have to hurt for it to matter to this court?
To Gascon, thank you for you killed my daughter along with the other ones. And all the other kids that have been killed and the parents aren't getting justice, you got that on your back.
God, this is heartbreaking. What do you say, Alice? It's so heart-wrenching.
This is. I wish they'd go into my communities and talk to some women there and ask them, do they want them to defund the police? I work.
You want the Democrat women are saying defund police? You want them?
I want the reporters. I want the ones who are getting attention. I want any politician to go into the neighborhoods and go boots on the ground. Ask the people who are living this daily, do you want us to defund the police? And I think every answer would be no. We want to be safe. Who are we going to call upon? who are the women going to call upon to protect us? I work as an ambassador for Stand Together, and we support, along with Jerron Smith, a public safety coalition, as I said, with smart on crime solutions. We have got to come up with, we cannot have these knee-jerk reactions, and it's not that's not being smart on crime to let people who are doing these smash and grabs just let them go, or the people who are committing violent crimes. I think all of us have to be responsible for our actions.
You know, Alice, the White House is demanding more spending on cops, right? But it's undercut by defund the police, by no cash bail, by early release of violent criminals accused of murder, homicide, robbery, and kidnapping. You know, Democrats claim that law and order, some Democrat critics are saying this is just a code phrase to scare white voters into believing that only Republicans can protect them from supposedly dangerous black people or immigrants who commit violent crimes. When you hear that, what's your reaction?
I think that is a very foolish notion, and it is very dangerous rhetoric to put out there, because that is so untrue, that I think it is all of our responsibilities to get involved in this and let our voices be heard. I will not be silent on this issue, because I want police that want to serve. We now have such a low number of people who are even interested in being police officers. We need to bring dignity back to that job and make sure that they have the funds and the training that they need to properly do their job.
Well, Alice, you're bringing dignity to this movement. That's what you're doing, and your voice is so powerful. Alice Marie Johnson, thank you so much for joining us. Will you come back soon? We're going to stay on this story.
I would love this. I would love to come back, Liz. I
want to talk about your big family, too. You're one of 9, 8
one of
girls.
9.
Oh, my God.
My poor brother.
Your poor brother. He was outnumbered. Okay.
Yes.
Alice, thank you so much.